Okay, hello everyone. This is the community meeting for External Secrets Operator, and it's the 12th of February. And let me remind you that we are abiding by the CNCF code of conduct, which generally means please be mindful of others and respect each other. And with that, let's start. Okay. So let's go through the agenda. If anyone has anything to talk about before we go through the agenda, then please speak up now. Otherwise, we'll just go through it step by step. Okay. So the first item is old issues. I added this agenda item. We generally don't. Before we started using the Stalebot, we generally had a lot of issues. We have like 180 something issues right now. So previously, I was going through some of them, and closing some of them is actually completed because some of the issues have been taken care of, which is nice. But we never pinged back basically on the issue, and some of them just got outdated, or the person didn't reply anymore, abandoned it. So I just went through it and closed a few of them. But some of the really old issues like are still valid to this day. Um,
Do you have any example?
some of the I should have written down some examples. You're right, but there were concerns about authentication in a few of them, and there were like overarching design decisions that were taken. That yeah, we should do this, and then that just never happened. And obviously, because of reasons that people couldn't just pick them up or didn't have any time. Um, some of them actually pinged us and never got a reply, sadly, back. And I'm just wondering how to handle these old issues. Like, obviously, I don't want to just go around and randomly close them, of course, because some of them are still valid, some of them are still provider, like requesting a provider implementation, which is something that we as a core developer usually don't do, but maybe at some point in time someone will give it up, like pick it up. Like, for example, allow specifying a C8 bundle for GitLab. It's it's a valid feature. It's just not happening. It's just no one picked it up to do that yet. And I know that the controllers, like the providers, are mostly community based, but there are certain things that we as core maintainers could also do if we invest in them. I don't know. Like, it's probably something that we would do on a case by case basis, I guess. Like, we have to go through the issues and see if we can do it or not. Or
I
what's
am of the philosophy that on any open source project, a lot of the issues are, oh, that would be cool to have, and not really a business need. So I tend to find that the issues that became stale because users did not give any feedback, or no one really started to contribute on them, especially on the providers, are these, oh, this would be so cool to have. And honestly, trying to drive the project by number of issues, like let's have at most 100 open issues, I think this is like, it will maybe just burn us out. So I would actually favor to go back to a decision that we did in the past, which was to even reduce the time until the stale bot comes in and kicks, to be like maybe 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, as opposed to the long running 90 days window that we have.
mm-hmm.
Because if people are not replying, there is something wrong happening on my watch because I do not receive any updates as frequently as I used to. But if people are pinging, yes, we should at least establish the consensus that maintainers really maintain code, not create new features for for the benefits of them. Uh, Data and review pull requests help them contribute. I think that would probably be a best way. Just because I know some of these features are nice to have, but they are not core, right? I think maintainers should really be this only going for core features like the whole generator statefulness that Moritz contributed is a good example. Uh, the support to config maps that I should be contributing is another good example because it extends it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah, I know.
that would probably be more of a valid use of our time as maintainers. That's my opinion.
And what do you feel, how do you feel about having so the problem with the community focused provider thingy, which is absolutely cool. I love it that the community provides providers. Is that perhaps they don't necessarily the code base is completely new, and even if they know how to work with the SDK of the provider they would like to implement, they might not know how to do that in our code base. So maybe what I'm suggesting is one part documentation on how to add a new provider, like a very succinct documentation on like this is the interface, this is how it works, this is what happens when you do a get secret, this is how to basically describe how a provider works in the code base. And the other one, maybe we could have some sessions here and there that people could subscribe to, and if enough people subscribe to it, then basically it's a 1 hour session or something that in which we walk through the code with certain people who would like to understand, even contribute, or uh, provide a provider or implement a provider.
May I even give another example? One thing
Yes.
that happens a lot is lack of standardization on how people create provider code. We could leverage now that we have ESO CTL to create provider templates like with CodeGen. So that this already follows a standard, and then after someone ran ESOCTL create provider, we just provide some text saying, hey, now you
Yeah,
need to change this file to add your API spec, and then documentation would be around ESOCTL usage.
that is awesome. Actually, I really like that. Now that we have the ESO CTL, we could actually do that. Nice. I like that. I would actually want to do this. Neat. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's fine. No, no, no. I like that. Yeah. Provide that authentication is considered. Okay. Good stuff.
So, how much of kind of a helper functions needed to have this provider work with ESO, right? So,
To
uh,
implement a provider, you basically need to create two structures.
mhm,
One for the provider itself, which needs to comply to three methods, creating a new client and some validation. And then the client itself, which needs to support all methods for both allowing external secrets manifest to work, push secrets manifest to work, the validation from the webhooks to work. Then this is the bit that is more, and then it varies, right? So
mhm,
some providers like AWS, this client is probably composed of 10, 12, 15 different files because different authentication mechanism, different properties, different logic, etc., etc.,
yeah,
etc.
okay, awesome. Because there is something a reference that is done in Search Manager. So, they have created an external library kind of a thing. So they have a basically they have external issuer mechanism where the providers basically can create certificate issuers based on their protocols, And what they have done is they have created a library, which basically any uh, provider can use that library functions, and just abide by what kind of objects you want to watch and things like that, right? So you need to update status and other things on the certain nature objects. So I was just trying to understand if we have some kind of a dependency on the external secrets resources where provider needs to go read or watch those resources and update status kind of things, right?
On external secrets, this is a topic that is recurring, and I have a strong personal issue that we should break it down with a hammer, but it's so hard to do. External secrets providers, they are very much coupled in tree. It's very hard to take them
Mhm.
out of tree to put them on a separate controller because we have one single secret store. And then within the secret store, we can define one only provider. But if we want to add a new provider, we need to change the secret store. So
Got it.
it is a little bit tricky. And also, we also have only one external secret manifest. So
Mhm.
separating that to like external providers on the controller level is super tricky. What we wanted to do was to break that to be out of tree for many different reasons, security included, maintenance included.
Mhm.
But in order to do so, we will need to leverage some sort of gRPC mechanism to make that provider work. And that comes with the ease of use of the project. The project will be harder to use. So the first approach that we even have a design approved was to separate a little bit and create at least provider-specific CRDs, just like we have generator-specific CRDs. So aws.secretstore.externalsecrets.io. That I tried to do a couple of times, and it's super hard for my knowledge at go ongoing at least. So I am not sure really how to proceed to even allow someone to just use our own libraries, packages, etc., and create out of tree providers anymore. And that was, I don't know, last time I tried was probably 4 months ago. The code already became so much more complex
Mhm.
than 4 months ago. I am not sure even if it's even a thing that we can actually do, or and rather we just commit, hey, actually we are an E3 controller with all the pain, risks, etc. that comes with it.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, let me
That
take a
was
look.
that was just history. My opinion is still we should break it down, but it's maybe not feasible anymore.
No worries. I can help with another round of study if it's okay. Let me also check it out because mm, as a product that we are looking at is how easy is it to maintenance also, right? So that's one of the reasons we want to have kind of um, out of tree plugins rather than having in tree plugins. So cool.
There is someone from the community that created a proposal, but I don't think he ever worked on it again.
Yeah, that was abandoned. I remember that.
So maybe we can pass that over to you so you can try to give a jump, your own take on it.
Hmm. Makes sense.
It is already closed. So finding it, it's going to be even harder. I think we can keep on going while I'll try to find the
Okay.
PR.
Cool. So another request what I had was I did not put it in the document. So the issue number 4335, can somebody assign it to me?
Sadly, I cannot. For whatever reason, I can't.
You need to comment on the issue. I think after you comment on the issue, we maintainers can assign it to it, but we cannot randomly assign to anyone on GitHub that is not involved on the issue.
Oh,
If I recall correctly, that's like a GitHub super weird thing.
I
uh,
see. But even
And I've found the proposal. I am going to put them here.
oh yeah, you're right. Bharat, could you comment on that issue that you want me to assign you to,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, I will do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and then I will be able to do that.
GitHub has its own peculiarities.
Peculiarities.
Why is this super big? It shouldn't be that big. I don't know what's happening, but anyways. Oh, I know what's happening. It's this one.
All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna go further. If that is okay, I'm gonna continue. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is AWS SDK, highlighting the V1. It has already caused a couple of issues, and I see sadly no support from the AWS provider maintainers. Is it? I'm sorry. I have to actually look it up if we were the ones providing that provider.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, yes, we are. Okay. So sadly, we're gonna have to update to V2. And sadly, I did try that. It is a lot of work, like a lot. It's basically a rewrite of how the current code is structured because of how differently the sessions work, how differently the code is. It's not just the API and the services. It's also the mocking, the automation, the tests, the end-to-end tests, and everything has to be rewritten to use the new interfaces and the new service methods and whatnot. And it's not. I'm not saying it's complicated. I'm saying it is tedious. Like it takes
And laborious.
and yeah, it takes a lot of time to do it. But sadly, we will. Like the V1 is coming to an end, and there are now issues saying that certain regions are unavailable because V1 just doesn't support that region. The V2 does, and yeah, I don't know when and how to tackle this. I worked with V2, AWS SDK V2. I kind of know how it works and how to use it, but for me to do that, it's I don't know. It's like at least a week of time off that I have to actually take from work to be able to do this. I don't know. Any ideas? Any thoughts on this?
We could probably try to get some contributors that are more active and bounty that one for them. Because we do have some money from the open source collective. Maybe this could be the way to go because it's laborious, it's tedious, it's not that hard, but it does require a lot of work. So we might put a bounty on this one.
That sounds good. It sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Not going to joke, but is this bounty available for maintainers as well?
You know, it is.
Okie doke.
We might just need to decide a process to be like completely what's the name?
Transparent?
Unbiased. Yeah, unbiased.
Oh, yeah.
Unbiased and transparent. Yes, but other than that, it's something we need to do, something we do not have the free time to do, nor the will to do that on our free time because it's boring. So more than reasonable to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
with open source money. That's also
Yes.
my opinion. This one we will need to do a vote with Moritz and Lucas for sure because it's project's money, so we need a supermajority. And
Okay.
us two do not compose a supermajority, Gergi. Yay! We need one more.
Ah. Okay. Why can't I ping people? Shit. Okay. Okay. I'll look into this and then talk with the others as well and figure out how to proceed. That's good. That's good enough for me. Okay, second item. This is a really weird one, and this is generally just for me. There is a PR on which I'm unable to run the end-to-end test. It fails with app token not found. But this is the only person's fork I'm unable to run it on. Like any other fork, I can run the end-to-end test on. But for this person, they even created a separate PR just to see if the first PR was not there was something wrong with it. But even on the second PR, I cannot run the end-to-end test, and it's ridiculous. And I know the PR still has some errors. That's fine, and they still need to update certain stuff in it. But that should have not been a reason for the end-to-end test not to run.
Part of the PR also updated the Go version, right?
Yes, correct. It's that one. Yeah.
Can we just try it ourselves to run the same PR, but without updating that Go version? Because I think this might be something related to cache, GitHub Actions, and all that shenanigans, actually.
So I already know that the end-to-end test works. Oh, you mean ask the person to remove the Go update and then try to run
Or
the.
just ourselves, just bump a new one, just bumping the versions from the Go mod and seeing if that actually works. Because if it does, at least we know where to look at.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Okay. Why is it snowing in the Hackendy? Okay. Okay. And the other one I had on the agenda is already completed, which is Ping Barat.
Yeah.
Um,
I just commented. Uh,
okay.
so another thing I also thought of discussing was based on the issue. There is already a workload identity in the GCP. That part, should we extend that workload identity, or should a new field be added for federation workload identity federation?
Uh,
You had commented it would be just fine to add a new field for workload identity federation. So
I think this one we cannot really leverage the workload identity block on GCP because the federation in theory allows for any jout to be fetched. We need to probably create a new spec to say what audiences, what subject we want to configure, how to manipulate that, so that whenever a jout comes, even like as part of the Kubernetes service account token on that provider, or because someone just specified a jout ref on the manifest. So then we can use it on workload identity federation with GCP. So I think this one will need a new spec dedicated for workload identity federation for the YDC fields and jout. And then an implementation that would look similar to workload identity, but not having all the hard code that we currently have there because we are just using GCP's workload identity, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, understood. Yeah, that was my other question actually. So how should I go about with the change? Like, should I create a PR, or should I just comment on the issue, like the approach that will be taken with the snippets, code snippets, or like? Should it be bought up first, or the PR and the review? The
Yeah, just go on with the PR. It can even be on a draft mode, so
okay,
that then we can discuss it basically.
yeah, yeah, so, yeah. Thank you. That's what I had. Thank you.
And did you see the comment from
Yeah,
that person? Can you answer him?
yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
already did.
That
Okay,
was the
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Sorry. Uh, right. I still cannot assign you to the issue.
Let
I
me.
don't know why. I can't see his name in the
I did
no.
it.
Oh no,
I did it.
no. Yeah,
There you go.
okay. Yeah, now I
Thanks.
did.
Thank you.
What the hell, GitHub? Okay, thank you. All right. With that done, incubation process updates. Okay. It's it's interesting. So right now,
Interesting bad. I take.
uh, it's nothing bad. It's just it takes time. I created the documentation, the document for the contributor ladder, but turns out we already have one. It was the It was called governance MD, so I didn't spot it. So I pinged the sure, excuse me. So I pinged the bye bye. So I pinged the person to like check it out if that is enough. Nevertheless, the contributor ladder document is there now. But if they accept what's already there, then I'm gonna close the PR because we don't need it. It's the government. Honestly, this document and the other outstanding issue is demonstrate the usage of this document, which is fine. I'm going to use actually my case for demonstration, the way I joined.
For the governance, it was already up even when Shuhei joined and when you joined. So we have actually two cases of
Nice, neat.
we using that.
Okay, so I'm gonna provide that, and then it's done. Like everything in that issue is ticked. So honestly, hopefully, the person assigned to it, Karina Angel, I don't know, will take a look at it
Move it
and
forward.
see how it goes.
Awesome. Very, very good.
Yes, I'm really hoping that will go through smoothly.
So last point is KubeCon EU plans. Just bringing up the flag here.
Okay.
I know I don't think you will be there, right, Gergi? But
Sadly
maybe
not.
I know Moritz will be there.
Moritz will
I
be there.
might be there. I am not 100% sure. Should we, I don't know, try to organize a one day assemble external secrets community, make a buzz on social network, etc. And I don't know, everyone go to a pub or something just to gather people that are like a unofficial gathering from external secrets community, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Honestly, yeah, that sounds nice. You're typing it. Okay.
And the unofficial has two F's. I don't know how to spell. It does? It
Mm-hmm.
does, right?
Mm-hmm. Can I not pin myself?
It's because your nickname is Scarso, not Gergi.
Yeah, but it offers my name if I start typing Gergely, which is super
I know,
weird.
but that's how I did it.
It's, it's super weird.
I think it's because it uses GitHub handles.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Okay, and with that, I think that's a wrap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an action item section, actually. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we used to have them. Let me put myself at this one.
Okay. Whoa, the indentation is crazy. All right.
There you go.
Okay. That looks better.
And we also have as action item
I will draw. Thank you so much for the meeting.
no
See you.
worries. That kind of summarizes everything, right?
Yes. I think so, yeah.
And
All right.
just a lot of spaces. Awesome. Very, 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 very good.
Now.
Oh, there is one point that is not here. I
Okay.
just want to, let me see if it's here. So for the old issues cleanup, should we do the reducing the stale bot number?
Does it pick up like really old issues? I don't. It's super weird because it's picking up issues that were indeed older, but it doesn't seem to pick up really really old issues.
It's because really, really old issues, if you click on one of them, you'll see they were already marked as stale, and then we manually removed the stale label. And when that happens, it does not run again
Yeah.
to
Okay.
re-add it.
Oh, I see. Okay. But on some issues there are like we removed the stale issue, but then it got stale again.
Okay, so I don't know. Broke.
Yes.
Let's close these ones. There are a
Okay.
lot of them that doesn't really make sense anymore, so I think we can
Okay.
close them.
Alrighty. And yes, of course, I don't mean to say that we need to have a number of issues at any time only. Like that's unfeasible. I'm just wondering about how to handle some of these.
Maybe we can try to encourage the person that created the issue to contribute as opposed to just create the issue.
Yeah, that's also true. And we can tell them to check if that is even still something they need or if it's a problem still or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Uh, oh man, HackMD is like freezing on me very not nicely. Okay, so on all issues, as the person if the issue is still relevant, let's encourage them to contribute.
Let me just get an example. Like
Okay.
our oldest issue is not one that we are ever going to do, so
Oh yeah.
we can probably take that one away as well. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
CSI Secret Store driver, they are already creating their own controller for syncing secrets, so defeats the purpose of.
Now that you just said it, I have another agenda item. The thing you pinged on the dev channel about mutating waffle supporting an environment injection pods. Did you see my reply?
I did, but it was a little bit still open, right?
So it works. But it does work like that. So it does inject secrets straight into the pod using a separate controller. So nothing gets to etcd basically. So is this something that we want to do?
Maybe we want to do a design. What I do see is that this would be beneficial. However, strictly speaking, when an organization does not like secrets on Kubernetes, they hate environment variables.
Yeah.
So I found very curious that project that I linked that they were supporting either Kubernetes secrets or environment variable injection, because that's typically worse. Because environment variables cat/proc/1, there you go, out of the blue, it's done.
And that's something I actually also commented on one of the other issues dealing with the same thing, where they said, "Hey, I want environment properties," and I'm like, "Okay." So then someone will get into the pod, and done, they have all of your secrets. And getting into the pod, as opposed to getting outside access of the pod, is much easier.
So I am fine to support it because users might still want it. However, though I don't know, they cannot afford KMS encrypting their etcd for whatever the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just need a design to cover both ways of injecting as environment variables and as files, if that makes sense. And I also do not really like a sidecar approach, so I don't know how, if we could really do this.
So come up with a design proposal to inject secrets into a pod directly, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. And with that, we don't have anything else. Yep.
We should probably, even before the design, maybe we should create an issue just to see if people comment out. Just to see if we're actually tackling the user.
Something that is required. Yeah, okay.
Like wait for the community to announce, hey, we actually would want this, or something like that.
Yeah. Create an issue to gauge community desire.
Yeah.
For this kind of feature. Okay. That sounds good. I'll create it.
Awesome.
Okay, and now with that, we are truly done. So I'm gonna stop the recording now. Thank you very much.